Let me ask a different question. So I remember we were in the Army, okay? And you'd go into formation. You had a long weekend. You partied hard. And one weekend, I'm doing guard duty. And we had this one guy. If I say the name, no one's going to know who this guy is. But his name was Jackson. Only the guys that were at the unit would know. This guy was Chris Tucker combined with Dave Chappelle. Hilarious guy, but he loved smoking weed. And in the Army, you couldn't smoke weed. If you did, you get caught. You know, you're getting an Article 15 and et cetera, et cetera. And we had another guy, I can't say his name because his last name is very unique. He was a cocaine guy. So on one end of the hall, we had a mountain of cocaine. I walked in one day, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He said, but David, you can't tell anybody, dog, you know? I'm like, dude, you gotta, how the hell do you have this much cocaine and you only make $800 a month? How do you? He says, well, such and such gave it to me. We follow each other.
It's a distribution deal.
Anyways, so he said, such and such gave it to me. But anyways, don't tell anybody. You want something? I said, no, bro, I'm totally fine. But you know what? Please, get rid of this stuff.
I think you're clinically hyperactive. The last thing you need is coke.
So now I go back to the other side. So one end, the door's open. They're doing coke. The other end smells like freaking Bob Marley showed up out of nowhere and resurrected, and they're smoking nonsense. And by the way, the worst part is smoke's coming from the bottom of the, what do you call it, the door, right?
Oh, that's good.
So I'm like, Jackson, I'm responsible. I got guard duty, bro. You're ruining my life right now. I'm going to get in trouble. He says, dude, but David, dog, you can't do nothing, man. You got to tell him I'm not doing nothing. I said, here's what I need you to do.
I can tell them anything, but their nose knows.
So I said, dude, light up incense everywhere. So he says, okay, yeah, good idea, dog. So I go grab my incense. I get everybody to get him incense. He's got 50 lights. You should see this place makes no sense. So Sergeant calls me. But David, yeah, Sarge, I'm coming through. I'm like, listen, I would suggest we start off with the one that's the most troubled one, which is Charlie Company, which is the one that's the most peaceful. They're easy going
Stall
guys.
tactic, right?
So we start with Charlie. And I'm taking my time. I think we have to be careful with this floor. It was filled with, Christians and Mormons. They were good kids, right? So I said, but you got to be careful with these guys because you know how they are sometimes.
There's a bottle of Jack in here somewhere.
Yes. So anyways, we go to second floor. I'm taking my time. I'm like, dude, I got if I can 45 minutes, I open the windows, everything. Anyways, he says, we got to go to HHC because Jackson's there. I said, Jackson's the biggest sweetheart. What are you talking about? He says, but David, you and I know who Jackson is. I said, do it. So we go there, and we were walking up. He says, what's that smell? I say, they were barbecuing earlier. He says, that doesn't smell like barbecue.
Smells like
I said,
Kingston.
something burned here. He said, no, I smell weed. I said, no, it's incense. Incense smells very similar. So he goes, and you see the smoke coming out of Jackson's deal. Dude, he knocks on the door, opens the door. What's up, Sarge?
Oh, God.
And I'm like, Jackson, wipe that look off your face. So he's got two other buddies that sit in there. And I said, you guys smoking weed? Me? I don't smoke the weed. What are you talking about?
We're reading poetry, and this is incense.
So
Exactly.
I'm like, no, listen, let's just go the other way. Let's go the other way because I said, no, they're smoking weed. I said, sorry, they're not smoking weed. He said, they're smoking weed. I said, sorry, what are you talking about? It's incense. You ever had, I said, smell this. It doesn't smell it. So anyways, we leave. So at this point, I'm thinking I got away with it. We go to the other side. The cocaine guy covers it up, okay? Which, by the way, that guy ended up going to jail for like 5 years. Military prison, bad situation, because he wouldn't stop doing cocaine. You're not supposed to do it in the Army. You're not supposed to do it, period, but in the Army, it's even worse. Anyways, we go to formation. Weekend ends. We're like, guys, hey, big dog, we made it, man. You're my homie. But I'm like, dude, we made it. We're straight up. So Monday morning, all right, we're doing a random drug test. If your social, the last four of your social starts with the number 6 and 4, step up. So whose numbers are they? It's Jackson's, mine, and the other guy. So I'm like, I know I'm clean. So I step up. I'm like, oh shit, Jackson. Oh dog, I don't have the, what do you call the thing you would pour on your vinegar. They didn't have the vinegar because you have to tip it. And then, anyway, we're learning a little too much here. So he goes, dude, I don't have that. You got it. I said, dude, I'm not gonna have any. So anyways, we go get tested. And the way they tested, the way they tested is they're watching. It's not testing. Hey, go give that. No, they're not doing that. So put your hands on the side, one hand only. Let me see. Very awkward. So we come out. He said, what do you think is going to happen? I said, dude, you're going to test positive for incense or you're going to test positive for weed?
Or barbecue.
You're going to test positive. So the cocaine guy doesn't get tested for nothing. He gets away for whatever reason. They didn't get him. They got him 6 months later, but they didn't get him that time. He just couldn't help himself. He was too pretty of a guy, and I introduced him to one club, and he just went crazy. Jackson gets caught. and he gets demoted from specialist to an E1, okay? And he has to do bathroom, all this stuff he has to clean up. He said, I'm like, Jackson, I told you, bro. So I come up, clean, everybody's good. We leave. Jackson's out. The other guy goes to military prison, and people have to figure out, probably not a good idea to smoke weed and do cocaine in the Army, right? I come out of the Army. I talked to one of my friends, him and I worked at Burger King together. He was the cashier, and I was the chef. And so they wouldn't make me cashier. They say you talk too much. So
That's a big word.
I was a chef. Listen, I like being a chef. It's Whopper, no onions, right? So one day we get into the biggest debate about welfare and Social Security and all these Section 8 and all this stuff. I said, you know what I think they need to do? He says, what? Biggest debate. I'm curious to know what you guys will say. I said, I don't mind if you give unemployment benefits to people. Some people need it for 3-6 months to recover. I totally get you need to give welfare and food stamps to certain people. But here's what I think they need to do. What's that? I think every month you ought to get drug tested. If you test positive, you don't get taxpayer money. If you test negative, listen, we'll help you out. Yeah. But there's one criteria. You cannot do drugs. He lost his mind. He says that's not fair. What would it take if we were to drug test people that are getting, whatever it is, WIC, any of this stuff that we're getting? What percentage of people do you think wouldn't get the benefits?
Well, through the 80s and 90s, you would have a tremendous percent of people under 30 that test positive for marijuana and don't get the benefits. And now you've got 25 states where it's perfectly legal to go get high. You can just go buy it at the drugstore. You can get edibles and whatever you want. Process.
Yeah, but what Patrick is saying is, in order to qualify, you have to.
90%.
I don't think it's that high.
90. Jesus Christ. I was going to say a fifth.
Dude, Adam right now is rolling. I don't think it's 90%.
No, I would say at least a third. I'm going to go with a third.
Fine. I think that's conservative. Okay, let's just say a high of 90%, which I'm sure he's being conservative in his mind.
Was that a pun?
You're a third. Let's say third.
There's a delayed reaction this morning with Patrick.
You don't understand.
Let's say a third.
Is he related to Charles?
No, let's
Tom,
say
help me out here.
Are you really serious? You only think 1/3 of people that get these free benefits that don't have to do shit all month are only a third of them?
Fine. How about we say 50%? Okay. Let's just say 50%.
At some point during the month, they would test positive. They hit it up. 90.
You're really jacked up about this. I thought high 90 was a fastball, but now you're talking about drug percentage.
Let's say 50%. Let's say 50%. What do you think would happen if that was a standard? He said, look, no problem. You're going through tough times. My rule for unemployment, you know how people want to get unemployment? Here's my unemployment would work. What were you making at your job? $4,000 a month. How much is unemployment? We're paying you $2,000 a month. That's it. No problem. Here's what I want you to do. Your $4,000 a month, you were working 40 hours a week? I was. The $2,000 we're giving you unemployment, I want you to give 20 hours of community service.
Exactly.
And we'll pay you the $2,000 a month, but it's 20 hours of community service.
As long as you're not disabled.
You know how quickly people would get off of unemployment?
Oh my gosh.
Listen, we need community service. The side of the freeways are dirty, bro. We need your help. You're so awesome. We'll give you this $2,000 in exchange and a drug test once a month. We'll totally do that.
Here's your reflective vest and your orange bag, and people would be like the side of the freeway going, my friend's on this freeway texting. I do not want to be here. They would be off unemployment in 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's the point. So the point is, do you want people off of unemployment? Do you want people off of welfare? Do you want people, not you, politicians, establishment, do they want people off of entitlement programs?
No.
Or do they need them on entitlement programs to get the votes?
This is buying voters. But look at the gray line.
It has been proven.
That's the unintended consequence. That's food at home inflation.
It is,
and this is a government program making inflation higher than it would otherwise be, which is the most regressive tax in the world. Inflation.
Let me ask you this question, because the people that are putting these policies together have smart people around them, or they are smart. They're not idiots. Do they think we're idiots and that they're just going to force feed us this as long as they possibly can? Is this a day-to-day game for them just to stay relevant and to be reelected? Or do they think these policies work?
Well, let me ask you a question. When it comes down to parents, you think parents are smart or you think they're dumb?
I think they're smart.
Okay, good. All right, let's qualify all parents as smart. Okay. Do you think some parents who say a father who has not been in a picture comes back, he wants to win the kids over. How do fathers try to win their kids over?
Money
and
attention,
gifts, right?
Yeah.
What do kids later on say in life when they have that one big fight with their father? Stop trying to buy me with what? With gifts, right? When people grow up, some kids are going to be like, dude, I love it. Give me more gifts. This is great. Yeah. But some kids say what? I don't want you to love me with money. I want you to put some time into me and help me grow up. You were not there for that time. there's going to be a percentage of people that are going to be like, this political party is awesome. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm loving this. But there's going to be a few people that are going to be like, listen, I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. Sick and tired of it. Listen, I got it. You can't buy me with money. I don't want any of these entitlement programs.
Well, I mean, again, 61 of the 73 million children in America, 90. What percentage of Americans know that they're getting money that they don't need and are pissed off?
A lot. I mean, I heard people. Well, I don't know about pissed off because
No.
But you know,
Well,
it's funny.
I've heard people say like, "Why isn't this money going to people who really need it? Why am I getting this money? I don't
no,
need
that's
it."
a reaction. I hear people say that all the time. I just got a deposit. I don't know why they're sending me money, right? I mean, people that probably don't need it, they're still
Exactly.
getting the handout.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. We had a board meeting last week. Tom was in the room, and one of my investors gets up, and he says, you know, last year I called Pat. And I called Pat. I said, hey, they're giving away the PPP loans, okay? And we can get pretty much free money. I said, what's the number? He says, a little bit less than $5 million we can get if we go get it. But remember, we don't have to pay this back. I said, why do we take the money? He says, listen, just take the money. You don't need to worry about it because we don't have to take it back. You can, I said,
Take the money and run.
I said, I'm not doing it, bro. He says, so then they call another board member to call me and say, we should take this money. I said, we have money. Why am I taking $5 million? He said, because they're doing it for everybody. And I said, I'm not going to do it. So he brought up this story to say, Pat didn't want to take it. Why am I taking the money if I want to be fine? I don't need this money. Give it to people that are struggling. The restaurant owner that's getting crushed, give him that money. They need tremendous help.
Exactly.
We're going to be okay.
Well, the board should be happy that you took that stance. Integrity, you know?
Well, sure. But that board member is a very, very driven by the numbers guy. And I love him, but he's a business guy. Great guy, by the way. Fantastic guy. But it is what it is. Anyway, so we'll see what's going to happen here with these numbers and the direction inflation is going. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.